Hey, what's going on, guys? Rhino here, bringing you the next episode where I'm going to basically rant on feminism. I know I did this in the last video, but basically, right after I made that video, it was really late at night. I was on Twitter, not Skype, and a different person retweeted this, and it was another one of those things by the same account, and it was like, "We need feminism," which is funny because you don't need feminism, but whatever. And what's funny is even if you needed these things, like feminism doesn't address these things. Feminism is about women's rights, not like all these underlying things that aren't about rights, that are about like social norms and like teaching men not to rape, which is just weird stuff. But so this was one of those four picture things, and it was like important is what the thing said, and it's like obviously important that that you read these, and these are super important in the role of feminism in the world, and we need to address these seriously. And so I'm going to address these four pictures. These aren't four pictures that are about offensiveness. These are four pictures that delve into a more serious issue, sort of, and so I'll address each one individually. So the first picture is a picture of a fire, and it says, "As a tween," no one really uses that term, but whatever. "As a tween, I took a self-defense class, learned that yelling fire was more effective than yelling rape." I don't really know how to address this, but basically, if you're trying to bring this up as an issue, I don't see what the issue is. I would, if I was on the street and I yelled fire, more people are going to come help me than if I yelled thief or if I yelled murder. So there's the only thing I can address with this really is this isn't something special with rape. This isn't something that needs to change. Nothing will change this. This is just how society is. More people will come to help with fire than rape, but same with fire than murder, same with fire than thief, same with fire than holy shit, that guy's ugly. Like, it's just how the society works. This isn't the thing that's wrong about rape or that's an oppression of women. And what's funny is this can be flipped. I mean, a guy could yell rape too, and it's the same thing. It's more important to yell fire. So that's more of like a rape issue in general about society. But even then, it's not really a big issue. That's just how society works, and feminism absolutely will not change that. So first picture down. On to the second picture. This is a picture of a supposed phone number, and it says it's 555-0113. And it says, "Girls grow up knowing that it's safer to give a fake phone number than to turn a guy down." Actually, that's not the case. Usually girls give a fake phone number to avoid an awkward situation. The same goes the other way. Guys give fake phone numbers too, and it's to avoid an awkward situation, not because it's safer. I live at a college, and I'm friends with quite a few girls who go out to parties and stuff, and none of them give out fake numbers because they feel unsafe doing so. If you feel unsafe doing so, it's your own problem, and it's not based on society. It's not based on patriarchy. It's not based on men. Most people do it because it's an awkward situation to not want to give someone your number. If a girl is talking to me and I'm not interested in her, especially because I have a girlfriend, I don't want to, and she's like, "Hey, can I have your number?" I don't want to be like, "Oh no, I'm not interested in you, so I'm not going to give you my number." I'm going to be like, "Oh yeah, sure," and then give her like a fake number. I'd be more likely to do that. More likely than that, I would just give her my real number, because it's really not that big of a deal for someone to have your number. They can just text you like that. It's not that big of a deal. I'm not sure what the problem is here, but this isn't an issue about girls. I like how feminism tries to make all these issues about girls, but it's an issue that can not only go both ways, but it's actually not about safety. It's simply about awkwardness. So, yeah. Two pictures down that are really dumb. Onto the third picture. Okay, this is one that kind of pisses me off. You say not men... Fail right there. Sorry. You say not all men are monsters? Imagine a bowl of M&Ms. 10% of them are poisoned. Go ahead, eat a handful. Not all M&Ms are poison. Um, what? This is such a bad example for numerous reasons. Number one, no one told you to take a handful. Number two, it's very easy to determine what guys are monsters and what guys aren't. And it's typically based on personality. I know, I can tell, okay, I hate using this title, but I can tell when a guy is a fuckboy. I can tell like that. And I don't even have to be dating them or know someone who's dating them. I can just tell based on how they are, how they act, how they talk. And yes, it may be prejudice, but I can tell. I know when a guy is a good guy. I know when a guy isn't. And so to change this scenario to be more accurate, for one, I would say it's less than 10%. For two, I would say it's a bowl of M&Ms. You take 10%, I'll say 8%, this being generous, but I'll take 8% of the M&Ms out and replace them with Starbursts, but the Starbursts are poisonous. That would be a better scenario. You know, the M&Ms are fine, but the Starbursts are poisonous, so just go for the M&Ms. I know that it's easy to avoid the guys who are quote-unquote monsters. It's pretty easy to tell. If you can't do it, then that's just because you're more into looks than you are about personality. That's your problem, not guys' problems. Another thing wrong with this. Just try one. If 10%, okay, if you go by this crappy scenario, 10% are, well, for one, you don't have to try any. If I were that case, I would just go to a different bowl. You know, I'd go gay or whatever. But you don't have to try any. But even if you are going to, 10%, you have a 1 in 10 chance. Just try one. Just go with one. Because you have a 1 in 10% chance. Not 1 in 10%. 10% chance, 1 in 10 chance of it being a good one. Or being a bad one. And so you have a 9 in 10 chance of it being a good one. And then just stick with that. Don't try numerous M&Ms. If you have, like... The worst part is if this logic was true, which it's not, but if it were true, then you should know not to try a bunch of them. Simple as that. The same thing would go for guys who are worried about these sluts, or I hate slut shaming too, but are worried about these girls being hoes. The same thing goes the other way around. If a guy, I would say even more than 10% of girls are hoes. But if a guy, you know, this scenario could be flipped, and it would be the same thing. But it's still pretty easy to tell if a girl's a hoe. And I would just say, simply don't try them all, or just avoid the hoes. Just stick with one. Do what I did. I found the one good person, and I just stuck with her. That's it. This isn't a race thing. This isn't a sex thing. This isn't about girls not being safe, not guys being monsters. This is just about girls who are not able to tell when a guy's a bad guy, when it's really quite easy. Yeah. And once again, it's feminism trying to play the oppressed card when this oppression doesn't actually exist. All right, onto the fourth picture. 3 dumb pictures down, onto the fourth one. Okay. So this one is a picture of one of those stereotypical plastic cups that you see at, like, you know, beer pong. And it says, because we're taught, don't leave your drink alone instead of don't drug someone. This one is not a woman's issue. This goes for anyone. Don't leave your drink alone at a party, guy or girl. But guess what? We are taught don't drug someone. Just like men are taught not to rape. But the ones who are going to rape and the ones who are going to drug someone are going to do it whether you teach them not to or not. They're fucked up. They are already like that. They're monsters. But these are men who drug other men, men who drug women, women who drug women, and women who drug men. It goes all ways. Feminism tries to twist it so that only women are oppressed in this scenario. But you're taught ways to avoid the people who are already mentally deranged. No matter how much you drill into someone's head, don't rape. If they're going to rape, they're going to rape regardless. And really, rape isn't that prominent, nor is... drugging is more of a problem, but not as much, and it's not really that big of a deal because it's so easy to avoid. But that's So why are you just addressing these specific issues? Why aren't you saying, okay, well, instead of teaching children not to get in cars with strangers, let's teach strangers not to kidnap kids? Like, why aren't you addressing that issue? That's a bigger issue than this, because it happens far more often, and it's a far worse issue than because these kids are oftentimes kidnapped, raped, and then killed, or kidnapped and then sold into like a child sex ring. I'd say that's a lot more fucked up than you being raped or drugged at a party. That's just how poisonous feminism is. They twist things to look like it's an oppression towards women so they can get rid of it, even though it's not really there. That's why part of the reason why feminism can't change anything, because you address the wrong issues. Teaching, if you were every year between preschool and college, if you were to have a course specifically about not drugging people, people would still drug other people, and not just men. Women do it too. Women do it to women, men do it to men. It happens all the time. They're going to do it anyway. So the only way around it is simply listen to the tips. Don't leave your drink alone. Only drink from unopened containers. Don't drink from the open alcohol like the jungle juice. There are really easy ways to avoid it. And all you're doing is you're taking precautions. But precautions are all over the world. All right, another one. Instead of having to look both ways before crossing the street, how can we don't just teach drivers to drive safer? How come you're not addressing that? I could go on and on. There's a huge list of things that feminism doesn't address, and that's just because they think they're oppressed when they're not, and they try to they look very intently and try to find any bit of oppression or sexism that doesn't actually exist, and then they try to get it fixed because it's not really there. Just like rape culture. Rape culture does not exist. There are tons of videos on rape culture not existing. I highly urge you to look those up if you so choose, but rape culture does not exist. Rape culture is not a thing, and so don't address it. And then last thing. Of course, so at the bottom of the picture, it says, #YesAllWomen. None of these are solely women's issues. All these issues could be flipped to men too, flipped to lesbians, flipped to gays, whatever. Why are you only addressing the women's side of thing? Why aren't you also teaching women not to rape? Yeah, yes, all women. And the worst part, the absolute worst part, is if something trended on Twitter and it said yes, all men, feminists would go crazy and be like, that is so fucking sexist. You're oppressing women by just addressing men, when that's exactly what feminism does. I'm sorry for 2 feminist videos in a row, maybe 3, I don't even know. Yeah, 2 feminist videos in a row. It's just, feminism annoys the crap out of me, and I just had to address this. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, rate, subscribe, and have a nice day.